YouTube, but that's not. I don't know if it's the greatest idea. Just in case you say something really stupid, you know.
I think in the beginning it's good to start off like this and then maybe go over to the live side of things. But
Yeah, I think so too.
hey,
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
Wait, nice to meet you, bro.
Nice to meet you too, bro.
Yeah, look, I've heard a lot of good things.
Ah, that's good. As long as it's good things.
Let me quickly.
What's up, Afi?
what's happening, my brother? Yes, this man's been avoiding me. Every time I
Me?
pick up, then he's running away. I don't know what's his story.
Oh, I've been avoiding you. Please explain to me how I've been avoiding you.
Let me quickly. I don't know where Hugo is. Let me quickly just check. Give me 2 seconds. I was just saying now to that I'm gonna. I was planning on doing it through a program called OBS, right? And then you can. I don't know if you guys watched. I'm sure you the real bodybuilding podcast with Fuad and all of them. Yeah. So I tried to like replicate that, but the problem is I'm not the most technical oak in the world. Anyway, so I got my guys working on it. So hopefully next time, then I can also use mics and like different cameras, and we can have it like a border and all that good shit, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'd also just make it look a little bit more professional. But look, this is. Well, also you could do Zoom. You could do it on Zoom, but also Zoom only like lasts 40 minutes, and then you got to pay like $14 or something, something stupid, you know.
I know there's a Microsoft Teams that work quite well as well. That's also,
Yeah.
not,
Yeah. You see, the thing is, what I wanted to do is the reason why I wanted to use a different program. So like, if we wanted to whatever topic we're talking about, and we want to bring up photos on the screen or pull up like a website or something, then we can do that, you know. So that's why I want to use this other program. But dude, we'll have to see. Here we go. Let's see. Hey, what's happening?
The other little boy.
Oh, then I can't. For some reason, I can't hear him. Can you guys hear Hugo?
Say something.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Cool.
Where would you guys? Can you guys turn your phone so that it's like that? It's landscape. I don't know if it's. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
I don't know how to do that.
The rotation.
Yeah, I think you do the rotation.
Yeah, I'm rotating it, but then I'm upside down. Either way, I'm upside down. See,
if you on your phone, if you pull down and there's like, you know, there's a button. I'll show you what I mean on my phone. This this thing, yeah. Just make sure that's off. Then maybe it'll work.
Oh, it was there. Oh.
There we go.
myself
There
like
we
that.
go. Perfect.
There we go.
Perfect. Yo, guys, we eventually got it, eh?
Finally.
Finally, yeah. So yeah, this is gonna be sick. I think it's something that you know, like no one's doing in South Africa. Not from my knowledge, at least in the bodybuilding, you know, in bodybuilding stuff. So I think this will do well, just because it's more. How do I say? It's less like professional than just a normal podcast. It's just the guys, you know, sitting down, chatting shit, talking about bodybuilding and fucking anything in between. So I'll also do it where I'll do. So if we do it once a week, I'll send you guys a thing, but we can all do like a Q&A on our Instagrams.
That's
We
perfect.
can take questions in and then answer them as well, you know. So that also, so there's never like topics that we miss or whatever, you know. So I think,
100%.
yeah. So let's. I think you can definitely do that. But and also another thing, I don't know if you guys have thought about it, but we should also come up with a name for a name for the podcast. Look, I've thought of a few things, but nothing really, nothing really clicks to me.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll.
On your guys' side, for me, it seems like my screen is standing still.
Yeah, we can't see you. I can't see you.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's strange. Everyone else is chilled, but.
We got a little stuff there.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Technical
Alright,
issue.
there you go. You're back.
Boom. Okay, let's get going. Okay, I'm recording and stuff. So also, like I said just now, we're not gonna do it live for now, at least, until we get our feet, because just now we say something really, really dumb, you know.
Some people's feels and emotions here. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, and I can have a bit of a foul mouth sometimes, so I don't want to piss
Hey,
off
but
the YouTube
we better not
gods.
hold back. We better not hold back. Like we gotta, like, I want truth from you guys.
No, 100%. I think we should chat about whatever the fuck we want to chat about. There's just the thing is with YouTube, it's such bullshit. I've also, by the way, this will also go on Rumble. So we got a YouTube and a Rumble channel. So when we post on YouTube, go straight to Rumble. So if you really want to talk about some like crazy shit one day or whatever, we can just put on Rumble. The thing is with YouTube, there's like certain words. As soon as you use them, they just flag them, and your video gets flagged and taken down. So
Yeah.
I guess we don't want that. It's just like, anyways, I don't think those words will come up just yet. So yeah, guys. So look, I don't think we need to do anything else, but I was thinking first thing is obviously what's happening right now. The Arnold Classic's coming up this weekend. And it's I'm fucking excited for it. It's like almost an Olympia 2.0, you know? So I was thinking, we'd do some, I've got my predictions written down. So let's, I want to get
getting straight into the deep end.
Straight to it.
That's like straight to the deep end.
Straight to it.
I've got a list here, but I want to make sure that I'm not missing anyone. This isn't my list, but it's the list that's on just if you guys can tell me I'm not missing anyone. So William Bonac, Sean Clarida, Samson, Kamal, Big Ramy, Patrick Moore, Andrew Jack, Justin Rodriguez, Akeem Williams, and Nick Walker.
Yeah.
That sounds about it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So maybe we should let me hand it over to you guys. What do you guys think about, first of all, what do you guys think about the lineup? And yeah, what do you think is going to happen? Because I'm a little bit in between predictions here.
I think this is possibly better than last year's Arnold, even though it was like a deeper lineup. I think the quality that we have, though, of the competitors coming on seems to be, well, they are really good, first of all. But the quality that they seem to be bringing, I don't know about you guys, but the conditioning seems to be coming up for a lot of guys. I saw like a recent update of Akeem Williams, and I think that's one guy who he seems to have a great physique, but he doesn't
he never nails it.
Produce it on the day.
Conditioning.
Yeah.
I don't feel like Akeem nails the conditioning. Well, the past couple of shows that we saw him do, he was off. He wasn't sharp. Like when was the Olympia that he came in and he shocked everybody with his conditioning? What was it?
Yeah, when he came sick, it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Yeah. That's the Akeem that I think a lot of people keep expecting to come to the show, but he never shows up.
No.
So
No,
I don't really even have him in really like in my top 5, to tell you the truth. Just because the past few shows he hasn't proven that he hits the mark. He's got the size, he's got the proportions, but he lacks the conditioning.
Yeah, he just like never nails it, bro. And it's like a lot of guys also say like if he nails his conditioning, he's up there with anyone really. Maybe from the back a little bit he could like improve, but like it's just his conditioning is always let him down. But let's see if he brings it. Maybe he shocks a few people. But look, we'll have to see. Yeah. So what did Hugo? You were saying that. So who's your? Let me ask you this: who do you think's gonna win, and who's your underdog?
Oh, that's it. That's it.
Okay, so the underdog is super easy. I think we all can agree Sean Cluder is going to be the underdog for that one, because he's just that X factor. Because we've seen him before when he stands up against the taller oaks, and I mean he did win last time that he did this. But it's a different challenge. It's not Regan Grimes. It's not Sergio Oliva. We're talking about guys that finished top 2. We're talking about guys like Big Ramy, who is a Mr. Olympia. That's a different caliber. It's not just like standing up against guys, that are like outside of the top 10.
Yeah.
You know, so Sean Clarita is definitely the wild card. For me, the winner, I think the front runner is definitely Nick. But I've got to be honest, with everything that I've been seeing and what I've been hearing, I don't know. I've got a chip on my shoulder for Andrew Jack.
Sure.
I got about that. Like, I think what have all the guys been saying? If Andrew comes in conditioned, he smokes out everyone because of his shape and his size that he has. So I think there's definitely more size to be filled out with him, but I think just the shape and overall roundness of the muscle bellies, like if we can get a glute striated hamstring dugout Andrew Jacked, I think. I mean, Derek won. Derek got a place over Nick, definitely due to his shape.
Yeah.
Size, I would say. So I think Andrew Jack is in there, but Nick is still the front runner because he is looking phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's looking up really well.
Okay, but wait. Okay, you got 10,000 rand. Who are you putting it on? It changes the game a bit, eh?
You know what I straight off think? If I have 10,000 rand and I want 10,000 rand and I want to make sure that I have all the opportunity to get that, I'm putting it on Nick because I know Nick's not screwing it up. I haven't seen Andrew at 100% yet. So even though I'm hearing all this and whatnot, he hasn't done it yet.
Yeah.
So I think it's constantly going to be the possibility, but Nick has proven it time and again. So I can 100% say that Nick is going to be on point. He's going to be peaked perfectly. So yeah, money is on Nick.
Okay. And the rest of the guys, we start with you, Blayne. What do you think?
My money's on Nick as well, but I have to say, I've been looking at Instagram and watching all the other obviously YouTube like Nick Strength and Power and all of that, and Samson Dowd is looking pretty good at the moment. I have to say, like, I'm pretty impressed. I mean, no doubt. I mean, looking at Andrew Jack as well, but Samson Dowd did place above Andrew. And looking at the physique that he brings to stage, I mean, also the fullness. He's got round muscle bellies. The proportions are incredible. And looking at him now, he's definitely sharper than what he was at the Olympia. So, I mean, top 3, I think it's going to be. It's a tough one. Nick.
Okay.
Samson. I'd love to say Barnack, but realistically, I don't think he's going to place up there in the top 3. I would love to say him because I mean I do think he's an OG of the sport, and he's won how many Arnold Classics already, So it would be nice to still see him be competitive with the rest of the guys. But that third spot's kind of up for grabs, really. That's going to be just who comes in better, to tell you the honest truth. It can be Sean, it can be Andrew, it could even be Barnack, it could be Justin, for all we know. I feel like the third one is kind of up for grabs. It just depends on who comes in at 100%. But I feel like for me personally, I've got in that top 3, Nick and Samson, 100%. That's my money. But my money's on Nick to take it. My money's on Nick to take it at 100%.
How crazy is it that we all, well, we'll get to Achmat just now, but I mean, bro, we're forgetting about Big Ramy that's literally won 2 Mr. Olympias. How crazy? But look, the way if he comes in looking the way he looks at the Olympia, we're gonna have we're gonna not be too impressed. So, okay, cool. So 2 Nicks. Yeah, look, I think it's definitely the wise way to go. But okay, cool. So we got Nick, and okay, I'm going. Okay, no, let me ask you first. What do you think?
Me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a gamble here, to be honest with you. Like I've been watching all the podcasts, and I'm gonna bank on Andrew Jack, to be honest with you.
Hey.
Look at that.
At the end of the day,
Yo,
must remember they've been speaking about it. I mean, look, Flex Wheeler has addressed it. There's been the talks in and amongst the podcasts, the news channels and stuff. And it's true what they're saying. Bodybuilding is all about matchups. Bro, and I'm gonna take Nick Trigili's word for it. Like I know that man does not BS. That's why it's called Nick BS in the first place.
Yeah.
He does not BS.
Yeah.
I mean, he saw the check-ins, he saw the updates, and I think it was just a brilliant move from Andrew to move to Chris Psycho Lewis and to move to Chris Acedo. I think it was just it's a game changer. And I mean, a guy with like I know that everyone's been speaking about in the past. Listen, we speak about people who's what ifs. But I mean, I think it's just written in the stars here. I mean, the man's got phenomenal potential. Walking into the Olympia in his first run and placing 7th, and he was sick. And he hasn't been training like a bodybuilder, dieting like a bodybuilder, and now he's got the 2 Chris's in his side. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna take Nick Trigili's word for it. And I'm gonna put my money on Andrew just to be a bit of a dark horse. And I think he's gonna shock a lot of people coming into the show, and that's gonna just set him up for the rest of the year. That's my opinion. Like I said, it's all about matchups. So it's gonna be dependent on what happens on 3rd, 4th is gonna depend on what Ramy looks like. As I said, there could be matchups. It's definitely gonna be a conditioning show. Everybody's playing the conditioning game. Everybody, which is it's a smart move because of they don't want to leave the door open for Sean Clarida. At the end of the day, everybody knows that man's coming in conditioned. I mean, that's his power shot. That's his wow factor.
Yeah.
He's going to come in with condition, and I'm sure these guys are not going to leave the door open and say, listen, I'm not going to be beaten by a 190-pound guy just because of conditioning. So that's why you can the trend tells itself. I mean, Nick and Sean is coached by the same guy, by Matt Jansen. So like you can see Nick's playing the conditioning game here. And also coming out of Olympia prep, it's a smart move. Meaning, and the reason also probably why, like in my opinion, why these guys are playing the conditioning game is because to play a conditioning game is not really about pushing PEDs that hard, to be honest with you. Playing the conditioning game is all about the diet, all about the cardio, all about you can be healthy and bring serious conditioning. You don't have to push PEDs crazy to bring conditioning at all. So I think so that's why it's the trend is building to listen. We pushing conditioning here. And you can see it like yes, like the updates from Nick is looking flatter and smaller, but that's on pictures. I mean, fuck, pictures make you look smaller, and it's just how it is.
Let's be honest.
And he's not. I'm 100% sure, or not, I can't say 100% sure, but I'm very sure that he's not fully carved. Man's, as I said, they're playing the conditioning game, and the trend is there. Looking at Samson Dowda, the man, like looking at just the 1 year transformation what he's made with Milos from last year when he started with him to the Olympia, and then now moving into the Arnold. It's just you can see it's a conditioning game.
100% true. I mean, look, I think it's definitely going to come down to conditioning because you know what the thing is also you can almost always bank on Nick to come in with good conditioning. Always him and Sean. you know.
100%.
And in my opinion, I know obviously it would never happen, but like if Sean was 5'9", 5'10", he'd be the best bodybuilder on the planet with his physique, you know. Like he's just fucking ridiculous. But unfortunately, he just gets. I think he'll just get a bit overpowered. Not even just by literally just the sheer size of like standing next to a guy like Big Ramy and Samson and Andrew Jaggs. He's also now going against like the biggest guys. So it's going to be. I think that might be a bit of a, you know, an upset. But so look, I'm going first. I'm going with Samson. Second, Nick. Third, Ramy. A bit different. I just think that Samson's just from what I've seen, you know, just from what I've seen. I think the only like Nick will beat him if Samson hasn't brought up like, I know it's obviously only been a short amount of time. In my opinion, the only way Nick beats Samson is from the back. But then again, like it's always also like, what are the judges going for on the day? Sometimes it's like, you know, the mass monsters are winning. Sometimes it's shape. If they bring shape into the consideration, dude, like Samson and Andrew are fucking.
Yeah, Nick's out of the.
But look.
Either, you know. So I mean, Nick's out of the picture there.
Yeah.
Even Sean's framing, even Sean's structure is more appealing to the eye than Nick's framing, Nick's structure, you know.
Yeah.
So if it came down to a shape game and you know, just the overall look of the physique, Nick is completely and totally out of the picture. But at the end of the day, he's still getting rewarded. He's still getting rewarded, you know. He's still placing in the top 3 at shows. He's still winning shows. He's still, you know, one of the best bodybuilders out there today with the shape that he has. So it's a difficult one to call because, I mean, even if you look at it now, everybody that's entering now it's more like the 90s era, 90s shape of bodybuilding now, right? Everybody's got that tight waist, they've got the proportions, they've got even the way that they're posing now is also not the same. It's not just your simple front double bi anymore. Everybody's got a classic twist to it now. Everything is going, the size is still there, but we're trying to make it look nicer now, you know? So it's definitely exciting to see how times are changing. And to see that shift happening is very exciting. So, yeah, it's going to be a good one.
I can debate you on that a little bit on the thing you said that Nick will be completely out of it if it comes to shape. To be honest, like him bringing out the conditioning and also changing his posing, and also just listening to, I'm guessing he's listening to people's critique about the way he poses, especially in some shots, especially like from the front shots with his front double bicep. The man's looking aesthetic. I mean, if you look at the updates, his shape is improving. With that waist coming in, you can't say the man doesn't have shape. I mean, if you put him in a silhouette now, look at the recent front double bicep he's been posting lately. If you put that in a silhouette, you can't tell me that's not a good shape. Like honestly, you can't tell me.
I mean,
100%. He's still got a good shape. We're not taking that out of the picture, but with the guys like Andrew Jack and Samson Dada, put him next to them. You know, shape can't compare. Even though yes, he's got a tight waist, regardless, he does. But it just comes down like to the overall shape of how those guys look next to Nick. He still looks a little blocky, you know, even though his waist is tight and he still looks good. You know, Samson Dada and I mean Andrew Jack is even tighter than Samson Dada. I think Andrew Jack's got the best shape currently now in the Arnold Classic going in there, I would say.
No, definitely. That's why, like I said, like I'm gonna put my money on Andrew because I mean, like he's got the best shape, and like I said, in the talks of like everyone's saying, listen, the man's got the potential, etc., etc.
Yeah.
We can't bank everything on shape. That's actually like bodybuilding is all about matchups. Like they said, matchups. So as I was saying earlier on, it depends on what Big Ramy is going to look like. Because if Big Ramy looks like the way he looked at the Olympia, Samson Dowd is going to beat him. Sean Clarida is going to beat him. And Nick's definitely going to beat him. So it depends on what my opinion is like. Why it depends on how Ramy looks, where everyone else is going to place. I mean, the shape's going to play an important part. Yes, conditioning is going to be around the board, but then it's going to, once everybody ticks off the box of conditioning, then it's going to come to, okay, what about shape? What about balance? Then the size will come in later on, because I mean, like I said, it's going to be a shape game and a conditioning game.
The big thing is just like it's when you were saying about the matchups, and I think that is where the problem comes in for Nick, because Nick alone has great shape, but Nick against other guys, that's where it makes it difficult, because the thing is that it's all about illusions, and if you're good at making yourself seem more aesthetic and being able to have a physique that's able to do that, I think that's where it gets difficult. I mean, Nick is very filled out. I think that's the one thing that sometimes that I think you can kind of look at is the amount of muscle that he's carrying makes it difficult to seem more aesthetic. You always want like a little bit of a space to work with, like his with being so compact, with being so short, having such short levers. I mean, especially like I love Nick's legs. I think he has one of the best legs that there is. I think those legs are filled out to the fucking brim. But for example, when he's hitting a front double by, or he's hitting actually any real front shot for that matter, the length of his levers from his knees to his hips is so much shorter, and you can see it so much compared to his upper body. His upper body just seems, his torso especially seems so much longer. It's that proportion that is going to unfortunately hinder him, because he can't change that. He can't just suddenly go. He can't ask somebody to grab his legs and start pulling it. So you can't lengthen your muscles. I wish that was possible, but that's not going to happen. So, he's kind of stuck with that. So he only has two things that he can go for, and that is one, his size, and number two, his conditioning. And we know he is one of the top two. I mean, between him and Sean, I mean, they're gonna have fun. They're gonna have fun standing next to each other and being like, who is more shredded? So that's gonna be fun to see.
Spoke about the front shots, like you said, his front double bicep, and there's how many front shots is this front double by? Lat spread, front lat spread, thighs.
Most muscular, yes.
Out of those 4 front poses, we can all agree on which is the weakest pose. You can answer the question, which is
front lat spread.
100%.
It's quite weak, eh? Like it's weird. It's almost as if he's too, either he's not like mobile enough, or something's weird, because he just can't hit it.
It's not even just the quad. I just feel the overall flare of the lats. Like you don't see that pop of the lats. Like you'd see, like, let's be honest, like Big Rammies, for example. I mean, you can see that dude's lats popping out like he's about to take off. Looking at him from the front. Nick doesn't have that, unfortunately. It's one of his weakest, and he stands out like a sore thumb in the sense that you just can't see him on stage when that happens. He looks non-existent almost, because you have all these guys next to him that's standing there with their lats like this, and Nick is just, trying.
Do you think it's a posing issue more than anything?
I think it's more of a mobility issue, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He seems like he can't even come around with his shoulders,
Yeah.
He exposes that in his lat spread as well. Like you can see in his rhomboids and his scapula doesn't open up the way like everyone else does. Like there's still like a margin that still needs to open up a bit more.
Yeah. What's weird about Nick, and I've spoken to people before and they disagree with me completely. He's got such crazy legs, like from the side, from the back. It's crazy, but like Hugo was saying, to me, it just looks a bit strange. If he had to, because the thing is, in my opinion, his quads don't sweep off the hip the way guys like Samson, guys like Ramy does. You know, it's kind of a little bit more streamlined. And I think if he had that sweep, like the other guys has, you know, first of all his waist would look tiny.
Yeah.
You know, so I think but I don't know if that's something that can be fixed. I think it's more of a genetic thing because he's like, it seems like he's just maxed out his flipping legs. I mean, if you look at his legs from the side, it's like a tree trunk, you know. So I don't know. I don't know if he ever could bring that up.
Okay. On this note, I was speaking about Nick's lat spread and his front lat spread, and we spoke about matchups. So let me ask you, in the call out of these three, who's placing where? Especially now, I'm sure you guys all have seen the updates, everyone's updates.
Yeah.
Lately. Nick Walker, William Bonac, and Sean Clarida. Three very similar, you can say, because Sean's a short guy, so he's going to fit in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who
Out of
comes
those
up
three-
in that three?
Out of those three, who would take the top?
Because if we can go through, we can even go through it pose by pose. I think if we have enough time, I'm not sure how long you want to do this.
I was thinking about should the first one be maybe about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and then we can obviously see the engagement, and then if it can be longer, it can be longer or whatever. Yeah, but yeah, we still got time.
Okay. So because I mean, front double bicep, all three of them meeting. I'm sure you guys can use your imagination now. All three of them meeting a front double bicep. Who wins the pose?
Nick. I'd say Nick.
Yeah, look, Nick's. I think he's just so big in that pose. It's crazy.
Yeah, think about it twice. I'd have to go Nick. Yeah.
Bonac might be a little bit better from the front and the legs, in my opinion, just because from what we've seen it previously. It all depends, obviously, what he comes in at, but we'll take him at his best.
Front lat spread.
Ooh,
I think Sean.
Even Barnett looks good in a front lat spread though.
Yeah, Sean.
But I think Bonac as well, from the front lat spread, most of the time, you know, he's got his abs are a bit washed out. So that might hurt him, whereas Clarida's got a little bit more separation in the stomach. So that could play a part.
Okay, so that means Nick 1,
Yeah.
Sean 1, Bonac still 0. Do you agree?
Agree.
Side chest.
Nick all day, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'd say Nick, 100%.
Yeah.
Sean, Bonac there.
Okay.
That's interesting. You see what I mean? How tough it is when it comes to matchups. In if you're going pose for pose, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll skip the side tricep because we know Nick's gonna. That's Nick's side poses are ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Thinking about it now, like, what if? Sorry for interrupting, but like, if you're thinking about it, because I just thought about this next pose, because I think that would be stupid. These three hitting a back double bicep.
I want to give it to Clarida, to tell you the truth. Even though Bonac's back is, I feel it's much more developed. I saw a photo today of Clarida on Instagram. I don't know if you guys saw it. His most recent update of his back. And I was like, holy fuck, this is
I
crazy.
didn't see that, actually.
I just saw it before we got on here. I saw it.
Yeah. So I was like, this looks crazy. And I mean, even, you know, like his back is, it's a tough one. I want to give that one to Clarida, to tell you the truth. I do. I want to give that to Clarida.
Did he post it on his Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to have a look at
The
that.
lat spread, right?
The lat spread, yeah.
No, this one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck. It's actually crazy, but it's actually scary how it's almost like is it even possible for that guy to put on more muscle? Like he just filled out his frame like completely.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Can you see the difference between the one? I think it was 180, 180 pound, 180 pounds, and the one's 190.
Yeah. You can see it. You can clearly see he's a lot fuller on the right. A lot fuller.
Fucking hell.
You see any discrepancy in the conditioning?
No.
Yeah. you just wonder, you know, when he's you just wonder, like, just structurally, like clavicle to clavicle, how he's gonna look next to a guy like Nick or a guy like Samson or whatever. It's just going to be interesting to see, because we haven't really seen it. We've seen him against the other guys, you know, but you know, not the top tier guys. So it's hard to say. But in my opinion, as good as he is, when he stands next to Nick in that pose, and Samson and those guys, I think it's going to be a bit of a mixed match, you know. Even though, in my opinion, he's actually better. It's just, you know, you just see it, this crazy size difference, and your eyes are automatically drawn to the other guy. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough.
I got one question for you guys to ask, and I think this will very much dictate the outcome, because I think this is the first thing that any judge looks for. It's the easiest and simplest way to judge any of these guys or any lineup. So let's take all of these guys. Okay, we all kind of know who's going to be like top 6-ish. Let's maybe even like make it top 8, just so you can, because everybody knows kind of what the shape of every guy looks like. I want to hear your guys. Who would your eyes, with what we've seen, shape and everything, who are the 3 guys that your eyes will most probably be drawn to?
Oh, that's a good question.
It is a good question. I think, you know, it's hard to say, because obviously we haven't seen some of these guys next to each other. You know, like properly standing next to each other, going pose for pose with each other. But in my opinion, I think when Samson walked out on the Olympia stage, I was like, holy fuck. I think it might be just because I didn't expect him to be good, like, and make top 6. So I was just like, holy shit, dude, this guy's fucking, you know, phenomenal. But I would say, from my top 3 would probably be Samson, Andrew. Third one, probably Nick.
Yep.
Just because of his sheer size.
Go to, or was that your top 3?
I think in my eyes, I think it's just because I'd be looking for Nick, you know? That's the only thing. That's what's hard to say, because, maybe Ramy. I think it'll go to all the guys that are just ridiculously big. But the thing is, your eyes automatically go to Andrew, because he's just like this fucking freak of nature, you know?
Personally, I think I would look for Sean, to tell you the honest truth. I mean, he's never competed against these guys before, so naturally everyone's going to be drawn to Sean. You know, he's the shortest guy on stage, so naturally people are going to be like, how's this short dude going to hold up with these big oaks? You know, aside from that, with his conditioning as well. So I think naturally, you know, I think Sean's going to stand out. That's something that this is the most exciting part of the Arnold, I have to say, is how Sean's going to match up with all of the big guys, because we know everyone else is going to bring their A game. Sean's going to bring his A game, but it's how he's going to match and look next to them, which is exciting. That's the exciting part. So I think
that's a good way to look at it, because it's going to be the size difference that you like. I didn't think about that. How it's going to be like everyone's kind of up here, a little bit shorter, and then there's just this fucking tiny guy that's just shredded out of his mind. So maybe you're right. And you guys, what do you think?
Yeah.
Hugo, who do you think's gonna? I know you asked the question, but what do you think?
Personally, first guy who jumps in my mind is Andrew. That easy. Like, I was thinking to myself right now, like, from everything that I've been hearing about how his conditioning's been better, which I'm so glad, and I think is not at all a surprise to me, because I'm not a fan of George Farah at all. I think he is unfortunately too overhyped. I think he's floating too much on the hype that he got from Kai Green, because Kai Green is just, that guy works his ass off. So the fact that he's going to Chris Aceto, who is a veteran in this, he's coached Jay Cutler. He's coaching one of my favorite top bodybuilders. I'm so upset that he's actually not competing. Is the Brazilian? What's his name again? Rafael Brandao.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Rafael. Yeah.
And the fact that he's being coached by him, he's got Chris Psycho Lewis. If he comes in with 3% less body fat and actually sheds all that water actually off, he's untouchable. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I cannot deny him winning that thing. He is the fullness that he already just has with the updates. Stupid. He's first. I'm looking for Andrew. With every single show that he goes to, I'm looking first at Andrew. Where's Andrew? I'm definitely going to be also looking for Nick. And I think third will also definitely be Samson, for sure.
Yeah. Such a tough one to, that's a fucking tough question because, it's also like, who do you like the most? And you're just like, okay, I'm fucking looking for this guy. But what Blayne said made a lot of sense to me because you just think like the size disparity. You just like kind of like, okay, let's see this. Like, can he actually do something? And we have seen him beat open class bodybuilders, so we'll have to see. How crazy would it be if he comes out and just fucking smokes everyone? That'd be the coolest shit in the world.
That'd make a rumble. Fuck.
Fuck, bro. That'll be the story of the century. It'd be fucking awesome.
Yes, that would be crazy because Andrew has a Ronnie Coleman factor to him. He has a Ronnie Coleman factor to him. Like, he has not gotten into the deep end yet. He's about to. And I think there's a big, very well-deserved hype around Andrew Jacked.
Yeah, I think, you know what, my only concern with Andrew is that even though we haven't seen him in like crazy conditioning, I just wonder his legs and his glutes from the back. I wonder if it's a conditioning issue or if it's actually a little bit of a development issue. Because if you really look at it, he's not, the size isn't crazy on his from the back, especially glutes and stuff. And there are some guys that just, even if they are shredded, their glutes just don't come in properly. Like, I think it's just a genetic thing. Even Samson has that to a certain extent. So that's the only thing I wonder about. But if that's not the case, if it's just because he hasn't been peeled.
Here's a question. I don't know if you guys have watched the podcast with Milos and Ani. I think it was that podcast.
I haven't.
They spoke about this glute story. That's what I want to ask you guys. How do you tell if a guy is properly conditioned? Is it the glutes or what is it? Does the glutes have to be striated for you to consider him conditioned?
No, it's about the body part that he struggles the most with. The one that seems to, if your glutes come in first, then great, fantastic. But if, let's say, not that it's the case, but let's say your calves are the last one to come in absolutely shredded, then that would be the indicator that you're looking for. So I would say in my case, it's my back. So if my back is on point, then I'm like, okay, yeah, we're good to go.
And when it comes to sticking on the glutes story, does your glutes have to be striated to win a show?
No, I don't think so at all. The only thing, in my opinion, I think it's definitely a genetic thing. You see some guys that have won shows without crazy glutes, so it might just be that. For me, it's actually hamstrings. I feel like most bodybuilders get their hamstrings just like ridiculous, So and it's both with Andrew. At least from what I've seen, even the show he won on, I think it was, which show did he win first? Was it Texas or something like that, where he was the best condition he's been in? Even there, it wasn't. his hamstrings weren't that, just like crazy dry look that in these big shows what they're looking for. So to answer your question, I would say glutes less than hamstrings. I'd say hamstrings, if those are in, you kind of know he's in my opinion at least.
I saw Blayne's face went a bit funny when you said no. Don't you agree with it?
With the glutes.
Yeah.
I feel I think it's just the whole back, to tell you the truth. Like it's everything. Look, the thing is, we generally when you're in condition, like you can tell if someone's holding back water, you can see there's usually like a water little how do you put it, like this, like they just look like socks almost, in a sense, right? So that the same goes for like your hamstrings. You can kind of see like a water, like it's like a watery layer over there. Sometimes like it's under development. So like in Andrew Jack's case, it could be under development because when he was in Texas and he was at the good condition that he was, because he even shocked me. I didn't even expect him to bring what he brought in.
Yeah.
His hammies weren't entirely in, so that's not to say that he wasn't conditioned, because when you see him from the front and even his back looked pretty good, it's just his glutes and his hamstring. So it could just be under development that he needs to bring that up. And I think Nick Trigeli said that as well, actually, if I'm not mistaken, that his hammies are just underdeveloped. So it's kind of like a toss between, like you can't really pinpoint and say, okay, if someone's glutes aren't striated, they're not in condition. It could just be a development thing. But then again, it's also hard. It's a hard ball to say. It's difficult to say, how exactly you say, okay, cool. His glutes aren't in condition, so he's definitely not conditioned enough. But at the same time, put him against other guys, and he fucking smokes them. So I don't know. Achi, what do you think, bro? You asked the question. We need the answer from you.
I agree with Lyle, like what he said about the hamstrings. But at the end of the day, it sort of comes down to the balance part. Because remember, when you're playing a conditioning game, you're gonna sacrifice some sort of muscle some way. So that's where you have to ask yourself the question. That's why I'm asking the question about the conditioning thing. Because you need to have the balance between obviously the conditioning, the fullness, the roundness. Do guys have to sacrifice more muscle to get that striated glutes? That's why I'm asking the question, do you need striated glutes to win shows? But I agree with what Lyle says. Like, for me, it's more about the balance of everything, especially when you look at it from the back. Remember, when you're judging someone, I haven't judged a show before, but obviously just listening to what judges talk about and how they judge. Obviously, they're looking up at you, so they're going to look from the bottom up. So look at the first thing they're going to see is obviously your calves, your hamstrings, then your glutes, then the rest of the back. So I agree with what Lyle says. I mean, it's a good indication from the back if someone's hamstrings are dug out, and you can see them there. But then it comes to, for me, more importantly, the lower back. That's where you can tell, for me, if someone is conditioned or not. Because then, like you spoke about the film, most of that, if you're not conditioned, that film is going to sit there in that lower back. That's where you can tell if someone's conditioned or not, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. I think. Yeah, I mean, and also, like, at the end of the day, we all know that shows are won from the back, right? So if your back's not in condition.
Let's not say that.
You don't think so?
Let's not say that. Because it's actually been proven that it's not just one from the back. It's been proven.
100%. I mean, I think
It's
if
been
it all
proven.
comes down to it.
Say again?
Sorry.
Which
No, I was just saying,
Mr. Olympia didn't have a back that is like
like you said, shows the one from the back. Who was the best from the back at the Olympia?
Sure.
The fact you guys are thinking about it blows my mind.
That's a good question. I'm trying to think now.
Derek from the back was the best, but he didn't win. Hardy won.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I think there's obviously a lot of other factors there, you know. I think what I mean is if it all comes down to it, and it's neck and neck, I think generally, but also because there's so many there's so much to look at from a back shot, you know, back, hamstrings, glutes, calves, everything, you know. So I think, and maybe they're steering away from it, but especially like, you know, a couple of years ago, I think that if it comes down to the wire, I think the back does play more of a part than the front, in my opinion, at least.
That's in my opinion, as I said, like just listen to what judges look at, especially when it comes to a conditioning standpoint, where they look if you are in condition or not. Obviously, just the abs, when from the front shot tells where someone's holding the body fat or water. You can see it clearly in the midsection before you see any other areas, because obviously that's when you stand in front relaxed. That's the first pose that everybody eats, is the front relaxed. So that's where you tell, okay, look, who's in condition or not. And so when you turn around from the back, that's why I don't like. I was a believer as well that shows a one from the back, but like I said, it's been proven over and over and over and over that it's not just from the back. It's like the overall thing.
Overall.
Yeah. Do you think that maybe it was a conditioning thing? That's why Derek didn't win. Do you think Derek was in the same condition as Huddy?
That's where it comes down to, like it's like the balance of everything. Where Derek, it's clear to everybody where Derek lost to Huddy was in the upper chest, in the chest area,
Yeah.
the shoulder area. It's clear to everybody. We've seen it on the live. You can see it. I mean, wasn't even there in person to see.
I was watching on a WhatsApp call. Achmat had me on a WhatsApp call. I was watching it. I could see it from the WhatsApp call.
The only reason why I had Derek winning was for me the political statement in my mind. But obviously they squashed that political thing of the guy can't speak English and he's not going to be able to represent Mr. Olympia as it's supposed to be represented, etc., etc. But they've proven us to that doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter what language you speak. If you're the best on the day, you deserve to win. And that's
100%.
It should be.
And it should be like that. If it's not like that, then they must fucking fix their shit, you know.
100%.
But I was gonna say no. So boys, let's finish off with something a little bit interesting. Let's make it interesting. So let's get everyone's top three. So let's do top three. And I was thinking maybe we place a little wager on it, small little bet. What do you guys think?
What's the wager? That's what we need to discuss first.
How about we start off small, and maybe the longer we go on, we start making them more interesting. How about we make it $50? So sure. I need to think about this now. Let's make it we'll make it chilled. We make it $20. Whoever's everyone puts $20 in the kitty. Whoever comes the closest to it gets the $20. How does that sound?
Fair enough.
Everyone in?
I'm in.
Okay, power. So Blayne, so am I correct? You said Nick, Samson, and then third I didn't get.
Nick, Samson. I'll put Andrew in third.
Okay. Andrew. Okay, sweet. Okay, mine was Samson, Nick, Rami, and then let me check here. Achmat, you had Andrew winning, eh?
Andrew.
Okay, Andrew,
Nick, Samson.
Nick, Samson. Okay, Andrew, Nick, Samson, and then you go ahead, Nick winning, and then second, third.
I'm gonna change that up.
Okay.
I'm gonna go same as Achmat, but because he said it first, and I think just so we could all get like a single winner. Andrew, Nick, Rami.
Andrew, Nick, Rami.
Yep.
Okay, I got it. Let's see what happens. Then maybe what we do is we'll do another one. We'll do another one when we can next weekend or whatever.
Where
After
is
the
it
show.
channels from? Have you guys bought the pay-per-view?
I'm definitely getting it. I want to get it.
How much is it? I actually haven't even looked.
It's like $45 now with a discount.
With the discount, if you use like Nick Trigilli, please use Nick Trigilli's one. You can use his code and then you get like 45% off. It's $45.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it's a good idea. Yeah, because look, illegal streaming it isn't a smart move, you know. I probably shouldn't be admitting that, but anyways.
Get that out immediately.
Oh, well,
You got it out immediately.
Shit.
Okay, cool. So maybe do the next one after the Arnold, then we can discuss how it went.
Yeah, let's definitely do that.
Next week Saturday.
Yeah, I think so. Next week Saturday. Yeah.
I think it's that time, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Watch how we all wrong and Rami comes and smokes everybody.
Yeah.
I have to be upset.
You could, eh?
Best comeback in bodybuilding history.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
About his stem cell treatment now, and apparently his legs are looking phenomenal. That's the one thing. I think Dennis said that the cuts are deeper than they've ever been. His back has still got some work to do, but the legs have been fixed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. We obviously haven't seen, but I'm skeptical. Like, I'm not putting my money on Rami placing top 3 at all.
The same with Nick Trigilli said the same thing. Like I said, I take Nick's word for it because he calls the thing like it is. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. Doesn't care who you are. Doesn't care what. He tells you the BS. Like he said that it looks. He said the dents are gone in the legs. It's very difficult for me to believe it's 100% gone. Because obviously you must remember this guy needs to still drop body fat. It's a week away. So you can't really lose that much body fat. There's a lot of water that needs to come out. We have to see if it's really.
One way to find out. There's one way to find out. So.
We'll find out. Get the cash.
Watch how we all wrong. I tell you, watch how we all wrong. Then it comes everyone. It's like, thank you.
I think Achmat's gonna take it. I think his prediction's on.
Yeah, they're good. I think if Andrew wins, it'll also be that'll be a big thing, eh? Especially going into this year's Olympia. So let's see. Okay. Oh, what the fuck? Can you guys see me?
Yeah.
It's Hugo echoing there.
Yeah, all of a sudden the echo. Anyways, that's our time to.
Careful, boy.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, brother.
See you next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
All right.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Bye.